box 640, fire alarm activated. 7 glares core off New Chantal Lane. Bushnell Basin, box 640, video fire alarm activated. 7 glares core off New Chantal Lane. Call.
Again, welcome. Quite an entrance. You're a great guy. We will now start our program with the last alarm. This is something that we do in honor of our fallen to bring them home. You'll be hearing some stuff that we have put together here on the radio. Bear with us. We hope it works out well. Okay, Father Mitch.
We're gathered here together to pay our respects for a man that we all knew well, and offering sympathy to the family, and remembering that Jesus said, I've gone to prepare a place for you. In Monty, there's a place for you. And that helps us in our grief. When a chief dies, a little of each of us dies with him. His leadership, his example, dedication to duty, even long after he was busy. I think he was a high point there, right up to the end. A real volunteer. His performance in crisis situations, his talent to encourage others will long be in our heart. Monty was never too busy to stop and help, happy to lend a hand, whether it was for a banquet or putting out a fire. He was always supportive of those who served under him. So let us pray. Lord, renew in each of us a keener sense of commitment for the sake of those who are no longer with us. Chief Monty has shared our sorrows, our joys, our troubles, our happinesses. He's helped us by words of cheer and understanding, by deeds of kindness and goodwill. May the unity that comes through the common ties of our fellowship bind us even closer to you and each other as we say farewell to our Chief. Amen. For our reading, I've chosen the reading from Ecclesiastes. It's one that's often read at funerals. Off to a good start. The Ecclesiastes, I remember with the Kennedy's funeral centuries ago. And this one makes us stop and think. For one thing, we realize that it starts off, there's an appointed time for everything, and a time for every affair under the heavens. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to uproot the plant. So one thing as I interrupt the reading is, for us, at every funeral we go to, I go to lots. And the more people I see die, the less afraid I am of dying. But as I say, we have to be ready to think that we should be prepared for when the time comes. We should take time to live safely, as we know, and a time to take care of ourselves, and thy will be done. But as I continue to read, there's a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to gather stones and a time to scatter them, a time to embrace and a time to be far from embraces, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to be silent and a time to speak. What advantage has the worker from his toil? I have considered the task which God has appointed for all to be busied about. He has made everything appropriate to its time, has put the timeless in our hearts. From beginning to end, the work which God has done. I recognize there is nothing better than to be glad and to do well during life. For each person, moreover, to eat and drink and to enjoy the fruit of all his labor is a gift of God. And I recognize that whatever God does will endure forever. There's no adding to it or taking away from it. Thus has God done that he may be revered. What now is, already has been. And what is to be, already is with God. God restores what would otherwise be displaced. So hopefully we can comfort ourselves today as we remember Monty. There's a time to laugh and a time to weep, and Monty could say, lighten up, you folks. Smile, you know. And I'd like to see you with a smile on your face, even though I'm not there and in your memories. And so that as life goes on, and we're here to celebrate his life, and the guys around here, most of you remember many Monty stories. I'll tell one little one. But for us, when we leave here, that we have trust in God, and that the life that we have hope, which is a good virtue for Christians. And I always give my Irish blessing at the funerals like this. I have it on my my refrigerator at home. And the Irish tend to be a hopeful people in spite of very bad surroundings in the famine and so forth. The blessing goes, may the good Lord take a liking to you, but not too soon. How's that? So, lighten up as we reflect on death and life, and Monty smile and remind us that he looks out at us. And so a story that might make you, I was here in the Basin as a fireman from 1975 to 1981. Monty happened to be chief at that time. And one event is I was responding to a call at night, coming down Kreag Rd. He must have been a little slow to respond. I was coming from St. John's. But I didn't notice the red light in the window until I passed by Little Spring. I said, my God, that was Monty. I cut it off. So, and so I got to the firehouse. I don't even remember what the call was. And he says, who the hell was that? That new Ford Firefighter? What was it? Fairmont? Was it station K? Station back? I said, it was me, Monty. And he just stopped and he says, Bill, you better slow down. I told Monty, I turned my message, I'm never going to do that again. So he was, he didn't quite expect I'd be right next to him, or that I was that guy. In those days, the lights were on the dashboard. I couldn't see it coming down the road. I saw it when I passed it. So I really should. So Monty's that type of a guy. Other people are going to follow me and have some Monty memories, and they can all make us smile. But I hope that as we leave here, that we might be able to smile and have a sense of humor that Monty did, and we pray that he may rest in peace as we reflect on his life today.
Bill Irish.
Good morning. It's my privilege today to share with you some of the personal memories of the Alvarez family of Monty. Monty was born in Geneva, New York on May 19, 1943. He was the third child of Verna and George Ebo Alvarez, and he is a legend in his own right. Monty would enjoy the typical youth activities of a boy growing up in a small town. And it's even believed by his siblings that he wanted to be a firefighter when he grew up. Monty shined shoes and delivered newspapers to earn his spending money. He attended Waterloo High School, where he was a linebacker on the football team. And that's an image I love. And he also played saxophone in the school band. Years later, Ebo remarried Pat Stein, Raymond Pat, and Monty would immediately gain 6 more siblings. Monty was an original member of the R&B band Wilmer Alexander Jr. and the Dukes, as their drummer and later as the bass player. He was just 15 years old when he joined the band. He received a couple of quick drum lessons from his brother Ronnie, who was a drummer in the U.S. Army band at the West Point Military Academy. After that, the rest was history. Wilmer and the Dukes rose to an incredible popularity throughout New York and surrounding states. They played gigs at college fraternity houses and were the opening act for music legends such as Chubby Checker and Dionne Warwick. On most nights, however, the Dukes were the main attraction, drawing huge crowds. Monty's brother Ronnie recalls a night where they were playing at Pittsford Inn. The crowd that covered the village of Pittsford that evening was so large that the police had to shut down the streets in and out of the village of Pittsford. It's rumored that the Dukes were eventually banned from performing. During his time as a musician, Monty would meet and begin to date his future wife, Marilyn. It's safe to say Marilyn was probably following the dating. In 1964, he and Marilyn were married. They settled down in Harrington, having a home built in Bushnell's Basin in 1966. Monty soon left his music career behind and took a more steady job at Eastman Kodak Park as a security guard. He and Marilyn began their family soon after, having 2 children, Mark and Julie. After Kodak, Monty worked many years for Clark Equipment Company down here in the Basin, handling forklift sales and rentals. He then moved on and got involved in the fastener business, enjoying a long career with the Keith Crosby Company as a sales manager. In the early 1970s, the local fire department, Bushnell's Basin, was actively looking for volunteers. At the urging of Marilyn, Monty went down to Bushnell's Basin Firehouse on a Monday night to see what it was all about. He was hooked immediately and joined the department in March of 1970. He used to say that his training involved receiving turnout gear, all rubber of course, getting a quick tour of the trucks, and lastly, a stern warning, don't get hurt. Over the years, he embraced the brotherhood of firefighting and easily made strong bonds with many people in the department, more than ever could be mentioned here. None were greater, however, than his friendship with Richard Houlihan. The 2 of them rose through the ranks together, with Dick serving as Monty's first assistant chief. They were joined at the hip, and often up to no good. They would plot pranks and administer, quote unquote, the rules. Also, Dick and his wife Lucy were truly family members of the Elders family. Monty would serve as an active firefighter until October 2012, a period of over 42 years. In 1996, Monty lost his wife Marilyn. She was only 54 years old and lost her to an ugly battle with lung cancer. As sad as this event was, he persevered, remaining positive and never losing the zest for life. He was the rock that got his family through the dark days, always promising a better tomorrow. Monty's life would take a huge turn for the better in the summer of 1998. A rainstorm had again flooded Brook Hollow, and the fire department was pumping out several basins, and Monty was right in the thick of things, working hard as usual. Somebody apparently suggested, or perhaps even dared him, to strike up a conversation with one of the homeowners, who seemed very nice and presumably single. And this would be the first time Monty met Dinah, his future second wife. They would be married in Las Vegas in 2003 and remained together until his death. Monty retired from his job in the Bushnell's Basin Fire Department in 2012, and he pursued his dream of living somewhere warm, or as he liked to call it, being on vacation every day. He and Dinah purchased a home in Sarasota, Florida, very close to several of his siblings that had already located there. While it was tough for him to leave his children, grandchildren, and the fire department, Monty had worked extremely hard his entire life and deserved to relax. People who met Monty quickly learned the three things that mattered most to him: his family, his fire department, and of course, his lifelong love affair with the New York Giants. Sometimes his family wondered where they were in the pecking order, but they always knew they were in the top three. Monty was a people person, plain and simple. Always up for having a good time, and willing to lend his help to anyone who needed it. He lived life to the fullest, making every day special. In September of 2014, Monty was diagnosed with bladder cancer. He vowed to bravely fight it with everything he had. In the end, the cancer was much worse than expected. Monty passed away on December 3rd, 2014.
Chief Payne.
To Mark, Julie, Dinah, Lori, Matt, and Jimmy, and the Alberts family, you share your pain and loss. When Mark called me and asked me to speak about his father at his service, I took it as a great honor because Monty was much more than a friend. Monty was always there for me as well as many others, as a positive influence and a mentor. For those of you outside the Bushnell's Basin Fire Association family, I can only provide a summary of his time here because there's not enough time to give you the full Monty. He loved the fire service and poured much of his time and energy into it. To him, being a bulldog was a way of life. The bulldog is the name of any of our competitive teams. If any organization is going to survive, we need to get involved and stay involved, he told me. And he was definitely involved. Monty first held office of assistant treasurer in 1972 and 1973. In 1974, he was elected first lieutenant. 1975 through 1977, he held the office of captain. In 78, he was elected second assistant chief. 79 through 80, first assistant chief. In 1981 and 82, he was chief of the department. He quickly rose to the ranks, but it was never about the rank, it was about the service. I joined the fire department in June 1979. Mine was first assistant chief. I remember one of my first dealings with Monty was intimidating. He told me, eyes open, ears open, shut your mouth, you'll do just fine. Except for my father, no one ever talked to me like that before. Well, in theory, that's how it's supposed to work, but being a 17-year-old dumbass, you have a tendency to test the waters and limits. There was a control burn east Rochester, and we had taken the old Quint over to the drill. In those days, we rode on the rear of the trucks, and closed cabs were not popular yet. On the way back, I was drinking a 7-Up on the back of the truck on 490, not holding on with both hands as I should have been. He was right behind us the whole way home. We got back to the firehouse, I received the patented Monty lean, finger wave, and stern look, and it was like this. You know what I'm talking about. I recognized that look because my dad kind of had the same look from time to time. Uh-oh. Off we went to the woodshed. Dick Houlihan may have made the woodshed famous, but Monty used it first. I had no idea what I'd done wrong, but it became clear rather quickly. I was not paying attention and operating safely. I was not being safe, and therefore possibly endangering others. This was not acceptable. He stated that I was his responsibility on his details. He did not want to have to tell my parents I was hurt or killed because I was being unsafe and not holding on to the truck like I should have been. He asked me what I had to say for myself. I told him I was wrong, and it will not happen again. One of the many life lessons I had from him was what he said next. Act responsibly, take responsibility when you screw up. That will lead to you being a good fireman. Someday, kids, you'll understand. The man truly cared about his firefighters. It was easy to be a Monty fan. He was always fair as chief. No task was below him because he held the chief's position. If there was a truck to be washed or a hose to be loaded, he was shoulder to shoulder with you. He was very patient up to a point, trying to teach everybody how to do a horseshoe load of hose. He would ride the load as chief, and when he went en route on a pumper, you could hear the surprise in dispatchers' voices. I love that. He was respected by the members because of his work ethic and drive. He expected that the rules be followed. Monty always led by example. Put your people first, he said. Never forget where you came from, and those lessons I have never forgotten. He was always in proper uniform for Department of Defense and always professional. He could quiet a room just by standing up and not yelling to get everybody's attention. He was not afraid to go toe-to-toe with anyone that interfered with his operation or his guy's safety. The story goes, he was returning from Fairport one night back home with a pizza. BBFD received a call for a kitchen fire. Around the same time, another chief from another department had been abusing his authority. After the 3rd Battalion Bowling League was over, the chief of that department would go to Fairport, invite one of the local establishments, and then when he had enough, he would turn on his lights and siren and go screaming out of the village back to his home. Well, the Fairport PD officer saw Monty leave State Street, activate his emergency equipment, and leave town. The bar, by chance, happened to be on the same street that the pizza shop was on. The cop, thinking the worst, chased him all the way to the scene. And he wanted to arrest him for not pulling over. And I love this part. Monty wanted to have the cop arrested for interfering with fire operations. It was settled when the police officer's boss arrived at the scene, and Monty read him the riot act too. Monty got his apology. He was a ballsy guy. Monty was also the first chief to have a fire department car, a red Chevy Citation, a car so ugly even American Motors cars made fun of it. But he was happy to have it in what the department had given him. That was how he was. Make the best of what you have and continue to improve. Monty was not afraid to spend the fire department's money to improve its operations. He took a chance on sending 2 of us to Florida to learn new and improved extrication techniques. Training paid off well for the whole department. He said if we can improve to save one life, the cost is worth it. We continually moved our training forward, and because of that attitude, we have been on the front of change in the fire service. Business was business, but when there was time for fun, let's just say fun with Monty present was much better than fun with no Monty. There were the rules. They were taught to many people. Usually Dick Houlihan was the warm-up guy that would lull you in a false sense of security, and then Monty would swoop in, or they would trap you in the corner. For legal purposes, we cannot reenact the rules. But to be clear, there is none of this, there will be none of this, and especially none of that. Boys. And just so there's some plausible deniability, it's rumored that at the end of the rules, you were probably minus some chest hair, feeling some minor groin pain, or may have been the victim of a between-the-legs handshake. But you were no worse for wear, your skin was a little thicker, and it was all in fun. It was part of a Basin tradition for a while. We had many other activities back in the day. There were musters. Firefighters would compete for prizes, trophies mostly in various firefighting events. Monty was always there, running and organizing, putting up and taking down, tirelessly making sure things were going as they should. The events were always in the summer and always a lot of fun and very hot. At the end of the day, the unsold beer, food, and soda was usually taken to the Albert's homestead, and let's just say great celebrations may have taken place. Usually with Dick Spiegel and Dick Houlihan arguing about something, drinking their cherry soups, Marilyn jokingly saying how sick she was of all of us. I think she was serious sometimes. And Monty holding court about fire operations and just laughing. Mischief of various forms was common back in the day, but it took great minds to go deep. It was rumored that a fire department that will go unnamed, Egypt, had a camel on top of their flagpole. This was a topic of conversation late one evening. There was, I understand, some says, yes there is. Some say, no there's not. So when the wife chief said, why don't you go find out? The others that were present, we'll call them co-conspirators, asked, will you miss your ladder truck for an hour or so? The wife chief's answer, are you still here? They left and called back and said, it's not a camel, it's a pyramid. The reply was, bring it to me. The pyramid was brought back and then painted purple, our department color, and a white PBFD stencil was placed on it. It was presented to the chief of the fire department that remained nameless, Egypt, at their banquet, but it gets better. Monty hired a belly dancer to help him present. The next month, the BBFD expense report, there was a line that read simply, entertainment, $40. Simply masterful. Oh, and the pyramid is now welded to the top of Egypt's flag. As time went on, the younger guys moved up through the ranks, and Monty was always there to help out, counsel, and drive the organization forward. He loved the fire department so much, he went back in 1995 to fill a void in the line. He was so very proud of his son Mark and daughter Julie. Mark, always an even-tempered firefighter, rising through the ranks and showing his skills as an excellent fire officer, and sometimes EMS guru. When Mark was elected to chief, Monty was beaming, his son following in the footsteps of the chief, as the chief of the Basin. He would also keep me updated on how Julie was doing. He was very proud of his daughter-in-law, Lori. When the grandkids, Matthew and Jimmy, came along, he could not have been happier. He loved those boys so much. With Jimmy being so much like Monty, it was a little scary. You could see his grandfather in him, but with Marilyn gone, there was still, you could tell something was missing. Monty continued to be there to support the line officers and the department as we matured, and was always there when I needed advice as chief. He was a proponent of the fine art of bringing trucks into different directions if it could be done. Sometimes we talked for hours about the fire stuff. He drilled into me bits of wisdom for the fire department. Stay ahead of your scene. Where's your next pumper coming from? If you think you might need it, call for it. And never drive past a fire hydrant if you know you have a fire. Be the boss if you're the boss. If you can't handle letting your crew do it, go back to being a black hat. He was my chauffeur for many, many calls. We could always tell what each other was thinking. He'd come up to a plug, he'd say, here comes the plug, boss, what are we going to do? He would never RO or roll over and not answer an alarm. The only way he missed a job was when he was home sick or if he was obligated to be somewhere else. He went on the hottest days and the coldest, rottenest of nights because that's what you do. You answer the call for your neighbors. We were working a flooded street on Brook Hollow. We had a street that was about 50% underwater. We were doing home assessments to see which ones needed to be pumped out. There was a house, they had a creek running behind it, and it was for sale. We assessed the house and the creek was actually running through the house at the time. It was a very pretty lady that lived at the house, and I was talking to her about helping them pump out the house when the water went down. And recently, she said that she was unattached. Monty, the driver of the pumper, came over to ask me a question. As we were walking away, he said, who are you talking to? I told him. I said, come on, I'll introduce you. Monty, Dinah, Monty. He didn't miss a beat. The Monty shock and awe charm offensive came on, and I believe he asked her out to dinner that day, and the rest, they say, is history. That something was no longer missing. It was awesome to see him happy again. He was the man. Monty served as a trustee from 2009 to 2012 until they moved to Florida. When he and Dinah moved, his absence from the firehouse was palpable. No Monty laughs, no Monty hugs, no Monty yelling, hi honey, with a wave from the other end of the fire station, and that was one of his favorite tunes to hear. No Monty as chauffeur on my runs. It wasn't the same. There are so many other stories about bowling league and the fun we had at BBFD banquets, but the night wasn't complete if Bully and the Twist didn't get played by the DJ. yearly hose testing where you can hear him telling the troops, the quicker you load hose, the quicker you get your steaks. Usually, out working the younger guys. The softball teams with him as the catcher for many years, he'd say, I'll put my glove where I want you to pitch the ball. Just hit it. Up and down, he would say. We would always have that bulldog inning that we played so bad we looked like blind mice and we'd hang our heads. No matter how far down we would get, he would never let us give up. Battle back, and bulldogs, he'd say. When we no longer wanted to play, he coached and pushed us. Parades. Monty was there showing his leadership, calling cadence, making sure the line looked good. And if you didn't, you heard about it. Dress your lines, ladies, he would say. Do your best, show your pride, don't give up. You're a bulldog. I could go on for another 100 pages with ease. I'm sure that just about every BBFT firefighter or other firefighters that knew him would happily share a story about Monty. I hope you have caught on to the spirit of Monty and his commitment to this organization. Mark, I hope you and your I've met you and your family's expectations of what you asked of me. I hope you all see how special he was to us in the service of his community. Firefighters, attention. Chief Monty Elvis, until we meet again, to our friend, brother, father, grandfather, husband, mentor, trainer, cheerleader, chauffeur, and coach. Chief, place your gear on a rack. Hang your right helmet on the shelf. Be headed from here. We will forever miss your quick wit and leadership. Rest easy, Chief. KH-802.
Okay, how do you follow that? I'm not going to nearly do that justice. My name is Ken Love. I'm past chief, now sucking me back into being president. Thank God it's my last year coming up. I enjoy every minute of this fire hall I have for 28 years, and I hope to last as long as 42. Like my father before me and Mark's father before him, we had the honor of following our father's footsteps, working together in the fire service and doing what we do for our community. I was fortunate enough to know Monty all my life, and he know me all his. I was one of the original Little Spring Run crew. I'd like to mention for several years, the first 2 trucks out of Station 1 was Little Spring Run. We had started with Monty and with my father, and then Bob Snyder, Dick Carlson, myself, that was Greg Garland, Ray Connor, Dick Gulick, Greg Gulick, Jeff Gulick, not necessarily in order, there's a lot of Gulicks. But you can tell that Little Spring Run housed a lot of firefighters that were first out. I have just a small story before I read the proclamation. In regards to living on Little Spring Run, when Monty responded, he responded to every call. If he was home, he went to every single call. And that's one thing that you knew, that you always have to look to your right when now you're driving if you lived down the street from 17.5 Little Spring Run. And back when we were across the street, the old fire station, we had a rule: the first person in the fire station had to take the radio. Now, I know a lot of you will find it hard to believe that know me, but when I was young, I was a little bit crazy off the wall. I'd like to get to the fire hall quick. I know it shocks you. I'm very laid back and a wallflower. But, phones went off, I took off. Get down to the fire station, and the rule is the first person in the fire station had to take the radio. I did this about 2 times, and then I started thinking, well, maybe I ought to slow up a little bit. And I would wait out and look out the window and watch a car go by, but I never put in my back of my mind on the 3rd try that would be Monty Elvis' spot. Now Monty, by then, he was a past chief and a driver, and he drove the first truck out no matter what. If he was the first one in the hall, he drove that first truck out. And the rule was, if there was a driver on the radio, you had to go in and relieve him. Well, I forgot about that. My 3rd try, I got down to the fire station, I said, I got it, I'm going to get on the truck. I went in, and all of a sudden I hear, Kenny! Like we always And then, as he walked by me, laughing all the way out the door. And that was Monty. He'd like to bust my balls. But, you know, I'm just proud to have known him my whole life. I was proud to grow up with his family. And, I said I was going to do this, I'm sorry. Truly an honor to call him my second father, because when my father was not around, he was still there, and now I had his family. And he's a great, great man to be missed. I have a proclamation, because I could go on forever, and I probably wouldn't make sense because I'm just a blubbering fool. But this is something, a tradition of the fire service that we give to the family. We spread this upon our minutes of the fire department, and we ever in file, and I'd like to try to read this. Whereas, to all whom these present shall come greetings, whereas Monty Alberts did faithfully serve the Bushnell Basin Fire Association Corporation from March 3rd, 1970 until October 4th, 2012, a period of 42 years, 6 months, and 29 days. And whereas his good and faithful service as past chief of the Bushnell Basin Fire Association furthered the operations of the association. And whereas his untimely death takes from us his unselfish dedication, friendship, and humor. By it now resolved that the officers and members of the Bushnell Basin Fire Association extend to his family our heartfelt sympathy for their loss. Now I, Kenneth Love, declare an official 30-day period of mourning with appropriate activities on part of the association. And I hereby direct that this resolution be spread upon the minutes of the next regular meeting of the association. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand on this 3rd day of December 2014. And this was put together on his passing. It's spread around the fire station appropriately and will be placed in our minutes. Included in this proclamation that I'm going to present to Dinah, we pulled Monty's personal file. And, this is an awesome picture. This is a picture taken back, and you can see it from them, but this is young Monty Alberts in the 80s. And it was placed in his file in case we ever needed it for purposes of media or whatnot, but it's time to give it back. And I'll be including that. Okay. John Haight, please.
Before I read the fireman's prayer, let me share a little bit of history with Monty and I. Monty was very competitive, as we all knew, the firefighter side, but he was also very competitive on the sports side. Being only one of 3 true lifelong Giants fan, like Bill Irish, myself, Monty has passed the baton on to Matt, and not Matt, Jimmy. Jimmy is converted over to the Giants. We haven't gotten that over there yet. But when we were out on the bowling team, Monty was our captain. Dick Houlihan, Dick Cody, Don Owens, and myself. We especially enjoyed those long weekends at the Firemen's statewide bowling tournaments. I think we bowled twice in 3 days. It was tough to rise up to be able to bowl those 2 days. Monty also loved softball, as was mentioned by Todd. I was a pitcher primarily back in the 80s, and Monty was my catcher for 20 years. Monty had a unique way of catching. He loved people, so he was constantly talking. And if the players didn't want to hear from him, Monty would pick up on the umpires. And I don't know if it was my pitching or Monty's influence over the umpires that he won many of the 3rd Battalion tournaments. But he was always there in his position with his hat on backwards and a mask on, because he was always safety conscious. Firematically, he was one of the best, as others will agree. I will always have wonderful memories of moments and experiences shared with Monty and his family. If you would please refer to the fireman's prayer at the back of the program. Whenever I am called to duty, God, wherever flames may rage, give me strength to save a life, whatever be its age. Help me remember a little child before it's too late, or save an older person from the horror of that fate. Enable me to be alert and hear the weakest shout, quickly and efficiently to put the fire out. I want to fill my calling to give the best in me, to guard my friend and neighbor and protect his property. And if according to your will, I must answer death's call, bless with your protecting hand my family, one and all.
Chief Sutherland, Chief Broderick.
I'll tell you a story, or a couple stories about Monty, what he meant to me. I didn't have a father, sir, in the fire service. And when I joined, Monty quickly became that. He was chief when I joined, and said the fire service, you never forget your first chief. I'll never forget Monty. I was sitting in the back room at the old firehouse one day, and somebody said the chief lunch. And I said, yes, chief, and I was eager to please, anything I could do to fit in. I'd come from a department down the way, junior program, because the Basin didn't have one at the time. A department that will go nameless, Egypt. And Monty insisted that they never trained me right. Sorry guys, but so Monty took me under his wing, and he called me over to the back room, and we used to have a brown refrigerator back there that contained the old 6.5 bottles of Coca-Cola. And Monty looked at me and he goes, rookie? And I said, yes sir. He goes, your job is to keep this full. So from that day forward, I was designated the beverage committee. Then a few months went by, and it would have been May of '82, would have been Monty's 40th birthday. And I was still a newer member, I just joined in December, and I remember getting invited to the chief's house for his 40th birthday party. I was so happy to be included in the group and to be thought of well enough to be invited to that party. However, when I showed up, rang the doorbell, and walked in, the first thing I saw was one of our past members, who will go nameless, Brett Coleman, running around in a purple negligee. I wasn't quite sure what type of party I had arrived at, but I chose to stay and had a great time. The next time I can tell you a story about Monty was June of that same year. We were at a parade in Mendon, and like it usually does at the parade in Mendon, it rained. All of a sudden, somebody said to me, the chief wants you. I went right up there, yeah, Monty? He goes, I need you. And I go, what do you want? He goes, you're going to hold the umbrella for me because it's raining. So there he was, marching out front. My job was to hold the umbrella for him. In today's day and age, you might consider that hazy. With Monty, you knew he liked you, you fit in at that point. He was truly a great guy. During my term as chief, and that can be a lonely position at times, anybody that's been in that position can tell you. You need that one confidant, that one guy you can go to and say, what do you do? And you'd sit down and you'd say, Monty, I need your advice. He would tell me, boss, what do you got going on? And you'd tell him, and he always gave you the right advice. I'll never forget this past October, he came to town. We went up to Watertown to celebrate Dick Houlihan's birthday. Todd, myself, and Monty went up in my vehicle, and we had a great time, and he looked great. Surely going to miss him. He was a tremendous influence. So with that, we're going to proceed with the belt ceremony. and please bear with me for mine. The men and women of today's fire service are confronted by a more dangerous work environment than ever before. We are forced to continually change our strategies and tactics to accomplish our tasks. Our members may change, but our goals remain the same. To save lives and protect property, sometimes at a terrible cost. But this is what we do, this is our chosen profession, and this is the tradition of the firefighter. In the past, as firefighters began their tour duty, it was a bell that signaled the beginning of each day's shift. Throughout the day and night, each alarm was sounded by a bell, which summoned those brave souls to fight fires and place their lives in jeopardy for the good of their fellow citizens. And when the fire was out, and the alarm had come to an end, it was a bell that signaled the completion of that call. When a firefighter had died in the line of duty, paying the supreme sacrifice, it was a mournful toll of the bell that solemnly announced a comrade's passing. We utilize these traditions as symbols. We reflect honor and respect on those who have given so much and served so well. To symbolize the devotions of these brave souls had for their duty, a special signal of 5 rings, 3 times each, represents the end of our comrades' duties, and that they will be returning to quarters. And now, Past Chief Monty has completed his task. His duties well done. He has given his best for our fallen brother. His last alarm, he has gone. Father Mitch,
We have our final commendation today, and it's trusting in God. We prayed together for Monty. Now we come to the last farewell, and it's really not goodbye, but it's still meeting them, but not too soon. And as we reflect on his life and remember him as alive, and with our memories brought for us today, we'll leave with a smile on our face, even though there might be tears in our eyes. May our farewell express our affection for him and ease our sadness and strengthen our hope. One day we will joyfully greet him again when the love of Christ, which conquers all things, destroys even death itself. Saints of God, come to his aid, hasten to meet him, angels of the Lord. May Christ who calls you take you to himself, and angels lead you to the bosom of Abraham. Eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon him. Into your hands, Father of mercies, we commend our brother Monty with sure and certain hope that together with all who have died, he will rise with Christ on the last day. We thank you for the blessings you gave him in this life. They are signs to us of your goodness and of our fellowship with the saints in Christ. Merciful Lord, turn toward us and listen to our prayers. Open the gates of paradise to your servant, and help us who remain to comfort one another with assurances of faith, and to be all meet in Christ, and are with you and our brother forever. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. May the angels lead you into paradise. May the martyrs come to welcome you and take you to the holy city, the new and eternal Jerusalem. So Monty, the family is going to have a private burial of his cremains later. And so we can continue on with God's blessing to live our lives better, reflecting on Monty, and to be mindful of our own mortality, and to seek first the kingdom of heaven. In peace, let us go forth, and may Almighty God bless you all. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Let us go in peace.
Steve Benson, thank you. That was wonderful. The Alberts family would like to thank all of you for attending. There will be a light food affair in the back. They have an awesome collage of all of Monty's pictures, some video, and some great things to take a look at. So I encourage you all, if you have not had a chance to do so, please do that. The Alberts family will be in the back of the bays to meet and greet people. I ask if you all, when we are done here, head back that way, because we're going to be clearing out some tables here and getting up our chairs and getting up some tables for you guys to sit down and enjoy your food today. Thank you again for coming. It's truly a tribute to Monty Alberts and the Alberts family. And on behalf of them, thank you very much for this awesome tribute. Truly family here today. Thank you very much for coming. That concludes the ceremony.